Happy Sunday, everybody. It's quite early on a Sunday morning, actually. I don't know what was the matter with me, but I couldn't sleep this morning. So you'll probably hear the boiler on in the background because it's quite cold out there today. This is the card we're doing today on a Stampin' Sunday. I've had this stamp set since the annual catalogue was released. It's the Enjoy Life stamp set, but I hadn't used it. So I challenged myself to use it. I love the sentiments on it. When you rise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. And I just think that's absolutely perfect. So let me show you where it is in the annual catalogue. It is on page 58 and it's designed by Connie Fitzgerald, who is a $1 million sales achiever. There it is. I went for the cycling one as well because my husband and I enjoy cycling. I take part in triathlons, so I think this is quite a nice one to give a go. So what I'm going to do, this is a smaller card than I usually use. It is, let's see, 5 by 7 this one is. So I've cut the pieces ready and I'm going to stamp the image of the person slightly differently because I don't like the way she's sort of shadowy against the plants in the background, so I'm going to do that differently. So what I'm going to do a bit of blending. I'm going to start with Paper's Eyes down the bottom and then work my way up as if it's a sunrise. So I've got, I'm using these sort of ink daubers, all with their own little foam pad then. So what you need to do, so you don't have a harsh line, just dab it off first and keep your ink moving in a circular motion. My Paper's Eyes is quite well used, so it's not going to be too juicy. If you've got a really juicy ink pad, just take it up slowly. There we go. Then I'm going to go into my So Saffron and do exactly the same thing. So dab off and then dab on and keep it moving. I don't know why I couldn't sleep this morning. It must be excitement about the run I've got planned with my friend later on today. And unlike England, Wales don't break up for half term until next week. So I've got another week in work. Now I'm using Chris Cantaloupe, which is, I think, is a retired ink, but it's very similar to Flirty Flamingo. If you've got that, want to try? There we are. So stamp off again and bring it back in. And then just make sure as well you overlap the colour that came before it to give it a bit more of a blend. There it is. And then the final colour I'm going to use is Calypso Coral. Again, I think I need to re-ink a few of my ink pads because you can see how well used they are. So I'm doing it quite gently. I'm not pressing down too hard on the paper. Because again, if you do that, then you'll have the harsh lines from your blending tool. I think the best thing with ink blending though is just to have a little try of it, to be honest. So here it is. There it is. Now I'm going to use the stitched framelets. So what I want to do, I want to work out roughly where my girl is going to be. So I'm going to lay the framelets down and I'm going to come in with my girl, stick it about by there, that's such a Welsh thing, sorry. I'm going to stick her there, and then I'm going to stick, she's going to be in Smoky Slate, and this is going to be in Memento. So I'm going to stamp that first. Just going to use a bit of washi just to keep my framelit in place for now, because then I'm going to stamp like the grass. Ah, silly Billy. I should have moved her hand. I wondered if I can. I'll be very clever if I can line that up exactly. To breathe. Let's see if I can get just that word. As I say, I'll be amazed if I can. This is where it would have been handy to have used the Stamparatus or Ratus or... Hey, I did it! Woo! And on camera. Right, so I'm going to stick her back in place now, because she's going to be around about there again. See if I can get her hand to, yeah, if I put her there, at least then I've got enough space. And now I'm going to stamp the plants. Oh. There we go, and I'm going to stamp them then in Papers As. And just stamp them across the bottom of the page then. Stamp, as you can see, I'm starting off the paper. At least now she would be masked. Stamp that again down there. She will be masked from having the grass stamped there. Just make sure I think I've got a section of my stamp that I'm not picking enough ink up on. There we go. What I'm going to do then, I'm going to take her off and I'm going to stamp her down in Smoky Slate. What I always do with my little masks then, keep them in your stamp case, and then you've got it for the next time. So here she is, using a bit of Smoky Slate. And just stamp her up. And there she is. So I'm going to bring my framelit back in now, and I'm just going to run this through the Big Shot. Although I've got my magnetic plate on, I'm just going to put my little bit of washi down again, just to make sure it doesn't move as I carry it across. I say carry it across as I turn my chair. Let me just make sure it's straight. I think this is such a positive sentiment. I think sometimes we get so caught up in the stress of life that we forget the bigger picture. There it is. I'm just going to run that through now. This big shot makes as much noise as my knees when I run at the moment. I'll just carefully peel my washi back off. And I tend to reuse that because then it's not too sticky as well. I've always got a little roll of washi on my desk because it's perfect for just carefully sticking down your framelets. I'm just going to peel that out of there. I love these rectangular framelets. So what I'm going to do now, this main piece is going on a little bit of Calypso coral. I'll use my ATG for this, or you could use some Tombow. And before I stick it down then, I'm going to add a little bit of twine. Make sure it's all straight. Oh, whew. Right, there we go. So the twine I'm using is some of the burlap ribbon. And then what you can do is pull out pieces of it. You can see I've been using this one a few times because there's not much of it left. Just take that away. And then you can just tie a little bit of a knot with it then. So there's all the little bits of nylon that was keeping it together. So what I've actually got here, I've got 4 pieces. 4 little pieces of it. I'm going to just put it in a knot. I'm just going to stick it across the bottom then with a little bit of tape. Use a little bit of sellotape for this because then it'll all be stuck down with double-sided tape. Turn it over then. I'm so glad I'm challenging myself to use up stuff that I've had that I haven't used, because this twine is one of them. I've had it there. And it was only when I saw something on Pinterest I thought, oh, I know what I could use for that. And it just gives us a little bit of extra ideas that we can use. There we are. I'm going to stick this down, and then I'm going to raise the sentiment on the image up. I'm going to first layer it on the piece that I've cut ready using the framelets. Then I'm going to raise this up just to really make it stand out. How can you lose a big yellow ATG gun on a really small desk? Stick that then in the center. Just even it out a bit. There we go. Add some foam pads to the back. And then that's another Stampin' Sunday done. So don't forget, now I'm back on Tuesday with a 10-minute Tuesday. And then I'll be back for a free-for-all Friday as well. And then I'm hoping then, when it's half term, so not next week, week after, I'm going to challenge myself to film something every single day. There it is. And I'm all done. So it says, when you arise in the morning, Think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. So you have been watching Nikki from Nikki Nags Paper Crafts. If you haven't got a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, but you are interested in ordering some items, then there's a link to my selling page here. I'd be delighted if I could help you in any way. Huge welcome to all my new subscribers. If you haven't yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you'd like to see what else I'm getting up to, if you hit the little notification bell, it'll tell you of all my upcoming videos. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Hwyl fawr, and I'll see you on Tuesday. Bye.